Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today, so we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government. Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest in everything Bitcoin. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about a massive setup that is showing up on the Bitcoin chart. Because as you guys know, Bitcoin has rallied above $27,000 recently, and that rally above $27,000 very well may send us all the way up to 30. We're going to be discussing why this movement that we've seen over in Bitcoin's chart over the last couple of weeks could very well send us much higher. But we're also going to be talking about the caveats to that rally and the consideration that Bitcoin still has some more confirmations that it needs to go ahead and pass through. Let's go ahead and read some chat. Really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. We've got Megatron1 in chat as one of our first. He said, good night, good morning, good morning, good night. Hello to all of you guys. Hello to Kevin Doran, who is in chat, said hello, friends. Ogneg Mitevsky said hi. James Manford said good evening. Megatron1 said sorry for the typo. No worries, my friend. Philly Skills 1428 said, what's up, Jebb? Good morning, my guy. Good morning to you as well. Wisely T with some exciting news said finally became a whole coiner yesterday. Love to hear it, my friend. Congratulations to you. Kevin Doran saying regional bank stocks looking bearish again. Yeah, there's been quite a lot of drama in the stock market over the last little while. We've seen Bitcoin kind of doing very well in light of all of that. We've seen Bitcoin do very well, where it's rallied quite exceptionally when we've seen things like First Republic Bank going through troubles, when we've seen Silicon Valley Bank go under, when we saw Signature Bank get taken over. Many people were looking to digital assets such as Bitcoin and cryptocurrency when that occurred so that they would be able to find some other method of securing their value into the long term rather than relying on financial institutions such as banks. Alex Nybo in chat said good morning. Joe Bollier said good morning. I am Constantine said congrats, Wisely. Good to see you, my friend. Wreck the Bear said morning, Jebb. What does the Matrix say today? We're going to be looking at that. William said what is a debt ceiling? Why is it important to Bitcoin action? If you're interested, we're actually going to be making a video on that that'll be coming out tomorrow. In short, the debt ceiling is essentially the credit limit that the United States federal government uses, because the government basically acts like a 20-something-year-old that is living off of a credit card, where they are spending more money than they are making, so they are having to take on debt every single year to pay for that lavish lifestyle. That's the United States government's lifestyle. And so the credit limit essentially represents the credit line on the credit card that this metaphorical 20-something-year-old is using to pay for that debt. Instead of getting their expenses under control, instead of working towards becoming financially sovereign, the United States federal government instead just continues increasing the amount of debt that it can borrow so that it can continue to fund a $1.5 trillion deficit a year. The debt ceiling is the absolute limit to the amount of money that the United States government is able to borrow. If they hit that level, then they have to go into default, because if you don't have the ability to take on any more debt, then you are not able to make all of your payments. That's what happens with a default. After a default, oftentimes you move towards bankruptcy. We don't think that's going to happen. House Speaker McCarthy and President Joe Biden seem to be getting close to some kind of arrangement and agreement, but we'll have to wait and see what happens on that. The deadline is just a few days away, according to Janet Yellen. All right, let's go ahead and look at CoinMarketCap. Really excited today to bring you some information on CoinMarketCap. Give me just, I'm so sorry, I went to the wrong chart. Give me just 1 second here. I'm just going to go ahead and remove my camera right here today just so that we can see things a little bit easier. All right, Bitcoin right now is trading at $27,860. Is down 1/3% over the last hour, down 0.2% over the last 24 hours, up 2% over the last 7 days. We'll go ahead and go into our customization here and fix our chart. As you guys know, every week or two, CoinMarketCap likes to mess this up on me, so we have to go ahead and correct this, where we have our 24-hour, 7-day, 90-day, and year-to-date price action charts. As you guys can see right now, we're looking at Bitcoin being up 17% over the last 90 days, up 67% year-to-date. Ethereum is up 0.5% over the last 24 hours, up 3% over the last 7 days, up 15% over the last 90 days, and up 60% year-to-date. Binance is down 1.17%, down 0.11% over the last 7 days, up 3.2% over the last 90, and up 28% year-to-date. Binance is suffering from a similar contagion of, how shall I say this? Binance is suffering from a very similar lack of confidence that the banks are suffering from right now. Many people have had their confidence in exchanges shaken in the cryptocurrency industry for much a similar reason that they've had their confidence in the banking sector shaken recently. Many different companies in cryptocurrency have gone bankrupt. Many different banks have gone bankrupt, and that is leading to many different people in the traditional financial world and the decentralized financial world to be skeptical of massive financial institutions. Binance and their price action over the year to date is showing just that. They're not up 60-70% like Bitcoin and Ethereum are. They're up even less. You can see XRP is up 47% year to date. Cardano's up 52% year to date. In general, the cryptocurrencies across the board are doing quite well, but the question remains whether or not they will be able to keep up that movement. Now, let's go ahead and look at the Bitcoin market dominance. I think it would be helpful to take a look here at how Bitcoin stacks up. It has continued to go through a major rally here on its market dominance. We've rallied all the way up here to about 46% from a local low set back in November of last year, around 38%. That increase is likely to continue as we have more regulatory scrutiny coming from the security space. As the security commission continues to scrutinize the altcoin space, likely that much of that valuation from the altcoin space will flow into the Bitcoin market and probably the Ethereum market. Now, Ethereum recently from very well maybe an SEC, as well, but the ire of the SEC seems largely to be upon the cryptocurrencies that are outside the top 10, the high quality educational and informational content every single day category, if you will. So when we're looking at the dominance here, it's very possible that we're going to see an exodus from this others category into Bitcoin over the course of the next year, and then maybe towards the all-time high run that Bitcoin may make here in about 2 years. Then maybe we'll see some more growth in the altcoins. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the altcoins themselves are not going to grow. I think they'll grow exceptionally. I'm talking about market dominance. We're talking about the overall percentage of the pie that is represented by Bitcoin. All right, let's go ahead and jump on over to the Bitcoin chart here. You guys can see that I made this description, this diagram here on our video that went out on our first episode of Up Next. That video came out on Saturday. In that video, I talked to you guys about the two different directions that Bitcoin could go. Obviously, Bitcoin can go one of two directions. People like to make fun of me saying that, but that's true. I mean, Bitcoin up, down, or can go sideways. The job of the analyst is to give you information on which direction is likely and to help you figure out how to set up a trade or an investment to make profits from that movement that you are predicting. So we use the analogy, the technical analyst, a little bit like a meteorologist, and tell you there's a hurricane coming towards Florida, but it's going to get Orlando? Is it going to hit Jacksonville? Is it going to hit Panama City? There's a 73% likelihood it's going to hit Jacksonville. There's a 3% likelihood it's going to hit Panama City. You should prepare for the hurricane to hit both places because there's a hurricane coming. But you put much more effort and much more potential to preparing for it in Jacksonville because that's what's most likely to hit. Similarly, in charting, we're most likely at the moment, at least from my understanding and analysis of this market, to move to the upside. I believe that Bitcoin is most likely to go into a rally. At this point, I did expect it would go a little bit lower, but even if it didn't, that's okay. We're looking for the kinds of entries that will give us that investment vehicle that many of us are looking for. Now, Bitcoin's entry that I gave you right here was sitting at about 27,750. I gave you guys a pretty large stop, but there's, of course, some wisdom that has to go in here. When you're setting up a trade, you have to make very sure that you're not just having an automatic trade. It's very important to plan. Planning is very important, but if you are not willing to alter your plan in the moment, then that's where you become almost legalistic. I keep going to the wrong thing, by the way. I think I'm hitting the intro button when I'm supposed to be hitting the face button. So sorry if you just saw the intro. I don't want you to be legalistic about your plan. I don't want you to say we have to stick to the plan and we cannot deviate from the plan at all. A plan is designed to be a roadmap. It's designed to be an outline that you are able to deviate from at least a little bit. Now, the plan that we're looking at right now is a plan of entering roughly around 27,750, and then you would be able to hold on to that. One of the things that you may realize by looking at the chart and where it is right now that maybe we didn't fully grasp when we made this was that Bitcoin had two downtrends, not just one. It had the downtrend that it was using as resistance right here, but then it also had another downtrend that it was using as resistance right here. And give me 1 second. Like I said, just for today, I'm going to experiment turning my camera off just so that we can see if you guys prefer that or not. Tell me if you would prefer to have my camera down there in the bottom while we are on the screen or not. I really appreciate the input as I try and improve the videos however I can. So there's two different downtrends. We're expecting that Bitcoin would break above the first one, and it did break above the first one. Now the question becomes, will Bitcoin break above the second downtrending level of resistance? You can see it right here. In fact, the other thing that we want to talk about is something that I discussed on Office Hours last night. If you guys are not familiar with Office Hours, that is the once weekly event where I get to interact with my students over in Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis on a group on one setting. So we had a few people over there asking some questions. Sophia asked the question, what is the point of control on Bitcoin? What is the point of control on the VRVP, and what significance does it have? So I explained to her last night that the VRVP's point of control, just go ahead and turn off all of our drawings for a second. The VRVP's point of control essentially represents where the maximum amount of trading has taken place. We've seen the maximum amount of trading taking place right here around $28,000 according to volume. That point of control sits right above where Bitcoin is right now. That point of control on Bitcoin sitting at $28,000, and considering the fact that if we just turn drawings back on for a second, that lines up. It's so hard to see because I have such a messy chart. Let's go to a slightly cleaner chart. It also lines up with this downtrending level of resistance right here, gives us the understanding that this 28,000 to 28,545 region is the next major zone that we need to break through. And in fact, it's possible that we should maybe wait on our entry on that trade until we start breaking through that zone, because it seems to be that we were able to move up to this area of the market without properly going into some massive rally. We were able to get up here without being in an explosive rally, so it's possible that we should be setting up our entry price for this trade a little bit higher, waiting for some more confirmation. Whether or not you wait for that higher level or go in on that lower level really depends on your risk tolerance. Are you wanting to see more confirmations before you go in on a trade, or are you okay with less confirmations? If you're looking for more confirmations because you want to be a safer trader, maybe you're trying to go in on a leverage trade, so you're only expecting that you need the market to move 3% to make 30% because you're on 10x leverage, and you want more confirmation so you know you're making a good trade, then maybe you want to wait a little bit longer. If not, then the trade entry that I gave you on Saturday will be sufficient. If you were looking for some more confirmations, here are the more confirmations to look for. The point of control, as stated, is sitting at $28,000. This downtrend is sitting right here. And we also have the flat level of resistance at 28,545 that has been so incredibly important. If you remember, 28,545 is our mid-bull market low that came into effect back here on June 22nd of 2021. It's been significantly important over the last several months. Getting above those three levels combined, this is what we call the convergence of resistance. Getting above this convergent resistance zone that sits right in this area will lead, more than likely, to Bitcoin going into a major rally, and it would be a final confirmation, I'd say, before we say that Bitcoin is in a new primary uptrend. Now, you might not wait for all of those confirmations. I'll tell you why. Lux Algo is giving us a buy signal that's already confirmed. So Lux Algo already seems to believe that we're going into an uptrend. It's possible that Lux Algo is wrong. Lux Algo can be wrong. There's times where it has come into play a little bit late. So for example, we see a sell signal that got confirmed here. We only moved to the downside for a week. Similarly here, let's turn Lux Algo back on, excuse me. Similarly here, we have Lux Algo go into a confirmed sell signal that only lasted for about a week. However, that's normally the sell signals that are only lasting a little while. It's normally the buy signals that are giving us these long runs. So while there are some confirmations, there are a few more confirmations that you can look for. So in short, Bitcoin is in a major setup right now. It looks like it's going to go into a major rally, but, and here's the but, Bitcoin has some of its confirmations for a big uptrend, but not all of them, and there's still some speculation, still some dark clouds potentially looming in the distance. Let's go over each one of those categorically. First and foremost, there are already some confirmations. Number one, Bitcoin's already, and I'll show you these on the chart. Number one, Bitcoin's already had a buy signal on Lux Algo. Number two, we've already got a MACD cross that's coming to play, bullish MACD cross, pushing MACD up above that zero level. Number three, we've got RSI that's already jumped above the 50 level. Number four, we've also found support on some critical moving averages. Those moving averages, for example, let me just set these up really quickly. Those moving averages, for example, on the daily chart look like this. Let's turn off Lux Algo. these moving averages look like this. We've got the 50 right here that we have fell below. We bounced on the 100, and we didn't need to go down to the 200. We bounced on the 100, broke bullish above the 50. So those are just a few of the reasons. Those are 4 reasons. Again, Lux Algo, MACD, RSI, and the moving averages. Those are a few reasons why Bitcoin has already put into play some bullish confirmations. Some of the next confirmations that I'd like to see would be a break above this downtrending level of resistance here, above this flat level of resistance at 28,545. Again, breaking above the transitionary zone. And also third, then the third confirmation I'd like to see as well, in this kind of second bucket of our points here, would be a break above the point of control, which sits at $28,000. So we've already got 4 major confirmations that I'm pretty excited about. I'd still like to see another 3 or 4. There's more that I haven't mentioned. If I gave you all the data, then we'd be here all day. I don't want to vomit data on you. I want to kind of give you a baseline understanding. So there are some bullish confirmations. There need to be some more. But then, of course, there's that third point. What about those dark clouds looming on the horizon? Well, there's a lot of uncertainty in the market right now. There's uncertainty as to whether or not we're going to see the debt ceiling raised. If not, then the United States enters into default, and the United States then starts down the path towards bankruptcy. Is that going to happen? Probably not. However, the uncertainty of that is never bullish for the stock market, because at best, if we do default on the debt, at best, if we do have to wait 2 or 3 weeks for payments to go out for veterans and Social Security recipients, etc., Medicare, Medicaid, whatever, and federal employees not being paid, if that occurs, then that's going to lead to the United States credit rating being dropped from an AA+, probably down to at least an A+, if not even lower. That would lead to a major shakeup in the security that people feel towards U.S. treasuries, and would impact whether or not people are willing to invest in those treasuries. Furthermore, if that debt ceiling is not raised and an agreement is not reached, then if we do go into full-on default, according to many different analysts, Morgan Stanley's talked about this, JP Morgan Chase talked about this, Moody's has talked about this, all kinds of different outlets have talked about this, Wall Street Journal have talked about this, you're likely going to see between 6 and 8 million jobs lost. You could see a 50% drop in the stock market, 45 to 50% drop in the stock market, which would equate to $20 trillion in value being wiped out. You'd likely see a major shrinkage in the United States gross domestic product, and you would also see the United States losing its footing as the world reserve currency and the dominant and singular global superpower. A default on the United States debt would be absolutely cataclysmic for civilization as we know it. I don't overstate when I say that. It would be horrible. It would cause a financial crisis greater than 2008. So that's one of the kind of dark clouds looming over cryptocurrency. That dark cloud is likely going to become clear blue skies here in a couple of weeks, at least for right now, because McCarthy and Biden are likely going to reach an agreement. When they reach that agreement, then great, they're going to more than likely extend the debt ceiling by $1.5 trillion, put it off till January 1st, 2025. They're going to meet an agreement. We're going to have some spending cuts. Hopefully the IRS gets that $80 billion cut. Love to see that. And then we're also going to see probably more taxes. The deficit's probably not going to change a whole lot, but we will see that become an issue in 2 years. I don't like the mentality of kicking the can down the road for 2 years, but that's kind of the mentality that Congress works in. So that's going to likely become a non-issue here in a couple of weeks. When that occurs, you'll see a rally on the stock market. You'll likely see a rally on Bitcoin. But for now, one of the things holding back a rally on Bitcoin is that dark cloud. Another dark cloud. We don't know what's going to happen with CPI and the effective federal funds rate. CPI comes out June 13th. Effective federal funds rate comes out June 14th. On June 13th, when we see CPI data come out, if we don't see a core CPI inflation drop, then that's going to be pretty bearish for the market. The United States has gotten used to these 1, 2, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3% drops on CPI, but that's not what we're going to continue to see. Core inflation, that being inflation minus food and energy, has been pretty much trading sideways at 5.5%. We have not seen a major drop on it in months. All items is dropping, but the reason for that is because of the energy market. The energy market is doing exceptionally well right now because all of the inflation that we saw happen a little over a year ago has now been priced out because this is a 12-month moving average. Furthermore, the energy sector is doing so well because the United States is kicking online the petrochemical sector in a way that we have not seen since the shale revolution. And since the shale revolution, we haven't seen since 1917 when oil was discovered in Texas. There's a huge build out going on in the petrochem sector in the United States, and it's leading to dropping energy prices. Those dropping energy prices, however, are not the only part of the economy that matter. So does food, so does housing, so does commercial real estate, which is in its own little bubble right now. So when you look at the core inflation, it's sitting at 5.5%. It's getting very sticky. What that means is that if that remains sticky, then the effective federal funds rate is likely going to keep climbing. At this point, since core inflation is staying sticky at 5.5%, Jerome Powell's Fed is likely to raise interest rates again from 5.15 up to, what would it be, 5.4% coming at the next meeting on June 14th. When that occurs, because it's starting to look like that is going to occur with a lot of certainty. When we do see in 15 days that 25 basis point rate hike that everybody is fearing, and we don't see a pause, that is a dark cloud hanging over Bitcoin, and that is a cloud that's going to make it difficult for Bitcoin to go through this rally. So Bitcoin's already got some confirmations here. We've talked about those. We talked about RSI, MACD, the moving averages, and we've talked about Lux Algo. It's got some more confirmations that it needs to see. Breaking above the point of control at 28K, breaking above critical resistance at 28,545, breaking above this downtrending level of resistance right here. And finally, some of the things that are stopping that rally from occurring are these dark clouds that are holding on, sitting there in the future, waiting to be resolved. Are we going to see a 25 basis point rate hike or not? Are we going to see a continued drop on CPI, or have the drop stopped? And what's going to happen with this debt ceiling? Once we resolve some of those dark clouds, and once Bitcoin is able to break above some of those levels of resistance, then that's where you're going to see the pathway towards a new all-time high, a new local high up towards $30,000 to $33,000 being presented. It's going to take time to get there. And so that's where, if you're in a trade right now, in a long trade, and you want to hold it for a while, there's wisdom in that, and I think you'll be okay. Because if you got in at $26,000, you'll probably do pretty well so long as you're not in a leverage trade where you have a liquidation price. If, however, you're not in that position and you are able to hold on to the trade for a while, I do think if you give it a month, Bitcoin will be trading up at $30,000 or a little bit higher. However, it's going to take time, and it's going to take a lot of watching to see how the market is going to respond to these dark clouds. What's the market going to do when the debt ceiling gets resolved? Because that's 99% likely going to happen. The default is very unlikely. When that occurs, it'll send the stock market to the upside, breaking 420. It'll be great. Not blaze it, but 420 the price level. And when the stock market does that, then Bitcoin likely will follow. Bitcoin follows stocks very closely. That will be very bullish. But that's going to happen, and then we're going to see this bearishness coming out from where CPI is probably going to stop dropping, and we're going to see another rate hike when everybody was hoping and praying for a pause. Can the bullishness of this debt ceiling arrangement being resolved lead to a rally on Bitcoin that does not get crushed by the pausing in the interest rate dropping, and in the effective federal funds rate being raised again when many people were hoping for a pause? That's really the question. I'd love to pass that question back to you. What do you think? We've got some bullish confirmations. We've got some more that are right there. And we've got these dark clouds. And the way that they shake out, the way that they resolve themselves, are going to have a major impact on whether or not Bitcoin is able to go into a major rally over the course of this next month. I think that it will technically, but some of these fundamental factors, we're going to have to wait and see how they have an impact on the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market. So, is Bitcoin in a major setup? Yes, it is. The question now becomes, how does Bitcoin shake out from here? We have got a lot going on in chat. Something's broken. Intro keeps looping, boss. Oh my goodness. When did that happen? When did that happen? What? I'm sorry, guys. Let's go ahead and read chat here for a second. Oh, wow. Yeah, you guys are saying the intro keeps looping. Yep, that's what, I didn't even read chat. I just saw myself do it. Sorry about that. Song goes on. Everybody's saying help. What do you mean? It looks fine on my end. Wow, Jebb doesn't realize he's doing this stuff. I am sorry. Wow, Jebb and slow me. That's start over. What? How long has the intro been running? I don't see it in the replay. I don't see it in the... When was the last time it happened? The last time I see that it happened was, and I do apologize for that, it was like 15 minutes ago. Interesting. I'm confused. Hang on one second, guys. I'm going to check over here, because on my end, it doesn't say that it's still doing it. Maybe the chat's just behind. Is the chat just behind? I think the chat's just behind. That's what it is. I see. The chat's just behind. Tell me, is it fixed now? Is it fixed now? Tell me in chat, is it fixed now? Yeah, when you noticed it, you stopped. All right. Started on CoinMarketCap. All right, it sounds like it's fixed now. Okay. Apologies for that, guys. Goodness. Hopefully you enjoyed hearing that song over and over again. It was mostly just audio. These people's ears are ringing. They're trolling you, Jebb. I see. I am being trolled. I have a very big sense of humor, so I don't mind being trolled. That's fine. It finally stopped. Chat is on it. Yeah, you guys are on it. Like, wow. Thank you guys so much for letting me know. It was happening during your analysis. Really? Man, I am so sorry. I am very sorry. Interesting. I will watch the stream back and see what happened there. I think I just hit the wrong button, but we shall see. Keep the camera on screen. All right, so since there were some disruptions, I'll kind of run through my points again. Bottom line here, guys, is that Bitcoin's in a huge setup. Some of the big things that are confirming that that setup has come is that we're looking at MACD, RSI having major breaks to the upside. We're looking at Lux Algo giving us a buy signal, and we've broken above a big downtrending level of resistance, and we've held at the 100 daily EMA, broken above the 50. Second point, some of the things that we need to see happen next, we need to see Bitcoin break above that downtrending level of resistance. We need to see Bitcoin break above 28.5. And then we also need to see Bitcoin break above the point of control at 28. Some of the dark clouds that are going to make that difficult are the debt ceiling and the consumer price index data coming out being stagnant, and also the effective federal funds rate coming out as a hike rather than a pause. Those things kind of looming over us are making it difficult for us to break through the rest of those bullish levels I just gave you in the second point there. And so if Bitcoin's able to push through those, then it will, if Bitcoin's able to get through those well enough and is able to stay bullish despite those things, then we will end up seeing Bitcoin break to the upside above those confirmations, and that's where I think Bitcoin will be able to perform very nicely. Now, one of the other concepts I want to talk about just briefly, and then we're going to read some chat here towards the end of the stream as we wrap it out over the next 15 minutes or so, is this idea of stagflation. One of the things that the United States economy is running into right now is we're seeing below desired GDP growth, and we're also seeing an inflation. A lot of times what that is called is stagflation. It's a pretty dangerous place to be, because if you're seeing inflation in prices but you're seeing a stagnation in the GDP growth, then that means that prices are getting more are going up every single year, but your paycheck is not going up every single year. The gross domestic product of the nation is not going up every single year, and so every single year it gets harder and harder and harder to pay for basic goods and services. That seems to be the direction that we're going in right now. And so that seems to be something that's going to color the next several years with the general United States markets, not just the Bitcoin markets. All right, so that's just something I wanted to put out there for you. Colin McDonald in chat said, "Hi Jebb, and all late but here a." Thank you guys so very much. If you're enjoying today's video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. It really helps out the videos whenever you do that, because it helps to boost engagement. It helps to show me that you guys are interested in the content here, and it also lets the YouTube algorithm know that you guys are enjoying and engaging with the content, and that helps to push it out to more people so that more people are able to see what we're doing here and hopefully continue on this journey towards financial sovereignty with all of us. By the way, if you were interested in office hours, we had a great time last night. You can see those office hours tomorrow when I upload them over in Club DeFi's Discord server. I am going to upload those tomorrow. We're going to make sure all those are uploaded, and then you guys can go back and watch those. But to get access to office hours, you've got to join Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis. There, you're going to get over 60 videos teaching you everything that you need to know about technical analysis, so you can do the kind of analysis that I just did for you, so that you can see in the future where Bitcoin is going, assign a percentage likelihood to that, and prepare yourself for a trade and investment. Hopefully you've seen today how understanding what's going for Bitcoin, what Bitcoin still needs to do, and what Bitcoin is what Bitcoin struggles are, kind of a SWOT analysis almost on Bitcoin, and strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. You can see, therefore, what Bitcoin is going to need to push through to go into a trade. You're going to see what you need to do to get set up for a trade or an investment, and you're going to be able to end up generating more profit and revenue here in the cryptocurrency market so that you can continue your march forward towards financial sovereignty. If you don't know, financial sovereignty is this concept that we have of having complete and total dominion and control over your finances, that they would serve you, not the other way around. I want your finances to serve you, not have you being forced to be a slave and a servant towards those finances. I want the finances to serve you. That's what we're trying to help you guys achieve every single day here on the Crypto Jebb channel, here on Coffee and Crypto, over on all of our series on the YouTube channel, and through educating you guys about principles of technical analysis, principles of trading and investing, and personal finance, so that you guys can continue to strive towards that financial sovereignty that you were destined to have, and that your family and you will benefit so much from receiving. So make sure to check out Principles of Technical Analysis with the link in the description box down below. If you were a CT2A member, you can go into your CT2A. The very first video in CT2A, I added it a couple of weeks ago, has a 25% off coupon code that you can use to get access to Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis, because I want to give a big thank you to you for being an alumni of the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. All right, let's go ahead and read some chat. Jen, it sounds like you're underwater. Really? What is going on? Nothing has changed with my microphone setup at all. Literally, absolutely nothing has changed. I'll have to look into that as well. I can't really... It doesn't sound like it on my end. The reason I wear these headphones are the studio monitors. I'm monitoring my own audio so I can hear it in my ears. So it could be something going on with YouTube. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, tell me I didn't do that. Oh, I think I just made I think I made a very big, stupid decision. Oh, goodness. I know what I did. Let's fix that real quick. Right now. How's that? Is that better? Oh, man. I bet that sounds 100 times better. You were probably listening to the speaker on this MacBook, because I have, I don't set up all the, bells and whistles for office hours because I'm not in studio. I'm at my house. So you were probably listening to the MacBook speaker instead of my $2,000 audio setup that I set up so that you guys will have crispy audio. Man, that's really sad, because I really have been so excited about how today's stream's going. I just feel like I've been on point. I feel like I made great points. I feel like I've really laid it out well, and then we've got technical difficulties. There you go. Unsurprising, but that's kind of the way it is. All right. Let's see. All right. Electronics still on vacay. Yep, that's about right. DeFi Crypto Vietnam said, always useful information and content. Much love from Vietnam. Awesome. Shout out to Vietnam. I'm sorry, I got to do it. Good morning, Vietnam. Okay, I'm not going to do it. Freedom Advocate said, lol. We hear you loud and clear. Yeah, I am very sorry about the microphone, guys. That was something that I should have caught in my checks, but I didn't. I do apologize. Very sorry about that. All right, let's go ahead and read some chat. We got about 10 minutes here. You guys feel free to ask me questions. I really love having a question and answer segment here in Coffee and Crypto, because it allows you guys to ask me questions about what it is that I've broken down. So if you have any questions about those confirmations that we need to see, if you have any questions about why I think the Bitcoin is going to go up and not down, if you have any questions about those black clouds, if you have any questions about the banking stuff going on, or whatever it may be, feel free to ask me right now so that I can analyze that, and I can give you a shout out, of course, say, hey, boom, Johnny Skills 24, whatever your name is, ask this question. Feel free to go ahead and ask me in chat. It helps me to expound upon the data that I've brought to you, and it also helps us to come together as a community, because we get to have some interaction. I really enjoy having that as a component of the stream here. I'm looking through chat for questions, and everything I'm seeing is, let's dive right on into it. Everybody's saying right now. All right. Let's see. Intro took up half your time today. That is so strange. I don't know why it would have been doing that. Thank you, guys, but I'm so sorry about that. It's the fatherhood, probably sleep deprived. Liquid sleep right here, guys. No, I'm kidding. It's not liquid sleep. It's liquid energy. Let's see. All right. Boy, this mic equalizer sounds really off. Sounds like Jebb's underwater. Yeah, that's really, it's sad, because I just really don't like having technical difficulties. It makes me, I just know, like, oh man, Jebb, come on, you do better. But yeah, it wasn't the equalization. It was the wrong microphone. I'm sorry. All right. Jebb, what do you think about BRC20? That is actually a very good question. Give me 1 second. I have a master list of topics that I research, and I have a bunch of them on here. Like here, I'll just read some of them to you. Commercial real estate, money market, stagflation, debt ceiling, GDP numbers, de-dollarization, hard landing, BRC20, just added on there. I am not an expert in blockchain engineering. That being said, I do have an ability to kind of read something and kind of figure out how to articulate and explain it. BRC20 is something I want to do more research on before I give you guys a really detailed explanation. But as far as I can tell, essentially what we're talking about here are layer 2 solutions built on top of Bitcoin's blockchain, similar way that ERC20 tokens are built on top of Ethereum. So the thing to know about Bitcoin is that Bitcoin is a blockchain, is a chain of blocks. And in those blocks are something called the block header. And as far as I'm aware, as far as my understanding goes, in the block header, you can put information. That information can be called upon in the future because it's a blockchain and it will stay on the blockchain forever. By doing so, you can actually program things to run with the code, with the kind of seed code sitting in the header of the blockchain, which means, theoretically anyway, you can build layer 2 applications on top of Bitcoin, same way you can with Ethereum. They're just going to be a little bit more difficult to build because there's not quite as much room in the block header. That being said, there's been so much research and development done on how to build ERC20 tokens, how to build tokens on top of other coins. Difference between a coin and a token. A coin has its own blockchain, a token does not. A token is built on top of another blockchain. The way that you can build these tokens is you basically have the code sitting in the header or in the block somewhere. It doesn't really matter where in the block, but wherever you can, you put it in the block, and then you can have the token running on the blockchain. So that seems to be what BRC20 is from a basis code level, but I'm glad you asked that because that's kind of a hole in my knowledge. I want to go and research that more so I can give you guys better understandings for that. But what you can do with BRC20 is pretty similar to what you can do with a lot of different tokens. You can build different things on them. So that's where ordinals come in. That's where people are trying to build NFTs on top of Bitcoin come in. That's where, theoretically anyway, you'd be able to build an entire layer 2 environment on top of Bitcoin, especially if you were able to pair Lightning Network in there with that. Then theoretically, the sky's the limit. So that's pretty exciting. And what do I think about BRC20? I think before I give you my full thoughts on it, I'd want to do more research on it to make sure that I am giving you guys an informed opinion. But as far as my understanding is right now, I do think that we're going to see a lot of growth in that area because the majority of the trust in the ecosystem is on Bitcoin, especially considering nobody's arguing that Bitcoin's a security. Everybody's arguing that anything else is a security, but nobody's arguing that Bitcoin is. So it's possible that it will become the one place to build decentralized projects and layer 2 applications because of the stability of the base chain, that being Bitcoin's blockchain. All right, any thoughts on the meme coin phenomenon? Yeah, I think it's a good way for whoever created the meme coin to get rich. Good way for a lot of other people to lose money. Every 1 in 1,000 meme coins is going to make a lot of money, and it's not necessarily a bad idea to throw a moon bag in it. Pepe was an example of that. There's a few other examples where you could have made money if you got in early enough, but the key is you got to get in early enough. These things go on one major run, and then they crash, and then maybe if you're lucky, they go on a second, and all the late investors end up making money too. But that's not something that you want to bet on. That's not a genuine bona fide trading strategy that is built on scientific methods. It is a hope and a prayer that it continues to go to the upside. I'm not against prayer. I'm just saying that I want you guys to get involved in things where you say, hey, I have a plan. This is why this will happen, and invest wisely. I don't think you can necessarily do that in meme coins. Powell thinks his cat is a security. Maybe not Powell, but Gary probably does. Yes. Green Name says it's fixed now. I don't think you were talking about the cat, but that's how I read that in my head. So thoughts on Cardano setups? Great question, Colin. I think it was Colin. Yeah, that was Colin that said that. All right. Thoughts on Cardano investments, Cardano setups. Cardano doesn't look like it's doing that well this year because it's down. It's not rallied quite as much as the other altcoins have over the year to date. It's up 51%. Ethereum's up 58%. Bitcoin's up 67%. The thing to keep in mind about Cardano is that it's doing very, very well compared to a lot. If you look at, for example, Chainlink. Chainlink is turning into my favorite stablecoin. Avalanche is up only 34%. Polkadot up only 24%. Litecoin up 30%. Tron up 38%. Almost said gone. Polygon up 18%. Solana's up a lot, but that's because it crashed so hard. Cardano is actually performing the best of any of the smaller cap altcoins outside of Ethereum. If you sort by year to date and you exclude things that are just super far down the list, and you exclude Solana because Solana was crashed really hard because of FTX, and then it just basically rebounded. It's not actually gone through a huge rally. It's basically just recovered because it was in the depth of that crash at the beginning of the year. Then you're going to see after Ethereum, Cardano is the next highest gaining altcoin, again, excluding Solana because Solana is an exception because it was most of that rally's driven by what happened with FTX. Cardano doesn't seem to be doing quite as well, but it's actually doing the best of all of the cryptocurrencies outside of Ethereum in the top like 30. It's doing exceptionally well. All those other big gainers up a couple 100% year to date are coins that kind of came out of nowhere. I'm talking about established cryptocurrencies that are from the last bull market that have a track record. Cardano is doing very well for all compared to all of them. Now, Cardano is sitting here below the 40 level and is sitting here below 37 cents. For Cardano to go into a major uptrend, it's going to need to see some bullishness from Bitcoin. Cardano is highly dependent on the Bitcoin market. As you can see here, Cardano rallied even farther than Bitcoin in the first rally. Not quite as far in the second rally, but that's because it had already done so much of its rallying in the first rally. It's up just about as much as Bitcoin is, just a little bit less. For it to go into a major uptrend, it's going to need two things. Number one, it's going to need Bitcoin to be doing very well. Bitcoin very well may be doing very well here in a month or two based on what we talked about today. Number two, Cardano is also going to need to see, it's actually going to need three things. Number one, it's going to need Bitcoin to do well. Number two, it needs to have continued development that is popular in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. And number three, it's going to need to have a continued build out of its layer 2 environment. The last two of those are not really in play right now. There's not a lot of hype around Cardano's development, even though it is developing, is doing a good job. It needs to be popular. Number three, third point also there is that Cardano needs to have a build out on its layer 2 network. Again, that is happening, but not at the speed that you would need to see it happen. That normally is going to pick up during the bull market. So for Cardano to go through a major rally right now, it's kind of going to need a certain aspect of bull market development that it just doesn't have right now. All of that to say, I think that Cardano is a great investment opportunity right now, but where it sits trade-wise has a lot to do with its technicals, and also a lot to do with Bitcoin. It's very closely following Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes into a rally, then boom, you're going to have an opportunity on Cardano. But we may still be a week or two away from Bitcoin going into a major rally as a result of everything we talked about, those dark clouds on the horizon, that being the debt ceiling, the CPI data, and the effective federal funds rate. I'm a big fan of Cardano, but as I've said many times, it's going to have to prove itself once again. Let's see. Cardano has just performed poorly since its fall. It's losing a lot of steam to ETH. Yes, that's my concern, is that the war right now is Cardano's theoretically better technology against Ethereum's first mover advantage. Ethereum seems to be winning that race right now because you don't need cutting edge technology to make it in a bear market, because everybody built out to be able to perform perform exceptionally at the height of the bull market. So now when everything's down 75%, users, transaction throughput, etc., is down 75%, you can run on slightly older hardware and still get the job done. So Cardano's competitive advantage isn't as much of an advantage during the bear market because it's not as necessary as it was during the bull market when there was so much more transactional throughput. All right. Army Piper's in chat. Hello, Army Piper. How are you doing, my friend? Hope you're well. Let's see. Artificial intelligence impact on crypto. Great question. AI is going to lead the charge on trading bots. We're probably going to see even more trading bots coming into Bitcoin over the next year or two as a result of artificial intelligence being able to do a lot of the analysis that we're talking about here exceptionally well. That being said, there's something a bot is never going to be able to do. It's never going to be able to do your thinking for you. And so no matter whether there are bots in the market or not, it is very important that you are understanding technical analysis, because you have to understand technical analysis to go and make trades that you can bet on. You are trusting in someone or something else to do your bidding for you if you're relying on a bot. And that's not a financially sovereign position, because you are then beholden to the bot. You're going to see artificial intelligence leading to a lot more trading bots that might be more powerful, but it's always going to be second fiddle to you having a human intellect and a psyche and a soul, because you're going to be able to understand things that bot never will. That's why I want you guys to learn about technical analysis, and that's why I highly encourage you to sign up for Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis with the link in the description box down below. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it out for today's stream. I really appreciate all of you for tuning in. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that post notification bell so you won't miss a single stream. Also, make sure to sign up for Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis so that you can learn more about TA and prepare yourself for the coming bull market. And make sure to sign up for Lux Algo, because you're going to be getting access to an indicator that's going to give you incredible advantages over all the competition in your TA so that you can make some profitable trades. It's already calling a rally. We'll see where that goes. It's done a great job of calling every one of the last rallies, giving you great setups. So make sure to sign up using coupon code JEBB30, JEBB30, for 30% off at checkout and save nearly $500 in your first year by using our coupon code and the annual plan. You can find the links for those two products down below. Using them together, I think, will make you a lot of money so long as you put your mind to it. And I know, I trust, and I have faith, I'm confident that you will succeed so long as you put some hard work into it. When Skynet? Probably sooner than you might think. Anyway, guys, like I said, that's all I got for today. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling.